Welcome to day 22. And last night was amazing. It was fun to see your faces. It was fun to spend some time just laughing. Today we're in James 4, 4 through 6, and I'll read it for you. You adulterous people, don't you know that friendship with the world is hostility towards God? So whoever wants to be the friend of the world becomes the enemy of God. Or do you think it's without reason that the scripture says the spirit he made to dwell in us envies intensely, but he gives greater grace? Therefore, he says, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So, what the heck is James saying to the Jewish people? I think it boils down to this: we choose God or we choose the world, but we can't choose or love both. We love God, we love the world. We choose God, we choose the world, but we can't choose both. We have to make a decision. It doesn't mean that we can't live in the world and we can't love our family and the things of the world, but ultimately we talk about who's going to be the influence in your life. And James goes on to talk about the idea that we are a friend of the world and then we become the enemy of God. Jesus refers to the church as the bride of Christ. So we get that picture of James is saying here we commit adultery when we love the world more than we love God, because that we're letting the world or the things of the world become more important to us than God. So what is the picture that James is really trying to say? And why is he saying we have to choose? Well, think about it this way. You can't be a friend and an enemy. Two opposite things cannot coexist. They can't both be true. You can't be a friend and you can't be an enemy. They both can't be true at the same time. So you can't be a friend and an enemy of God at the same time. We have decisions to make. We're either going to trust God and follow his path, we're going to love God and follow his path, or we're going to love the world and follow the path of the world. Then James breaks it down even more because he brings the idea of humility into this. And I think sometimes we have a false sense of humility. And I looked up the word humility or humble. What does that mean? It's a spirit of submission. Humility is a spirit of submission. When it says, James is saying God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble, he's not saying that anything other than we put our lives, we live with the spirit of humility when we give our hearts to God. We're basically yielding to God's authority in our life. So if you looked at proud is excessive, it's self-esteem, it's puffed up. So God resists the proud. He resists the person who's not willing to humble himself, to submit, to live within a submission, to yield to God's authority. So today, as you think about going out, doing your quiet time, and maybe then going out into the world, going to work, what are you going to do today? How are you going to choose God's path today and love God and yet live in the world, but not love the world more than God? I don't know. I know that today I have a busy day. I have lots of things going on with work. And I'm just going to be praying. I'm going to be praying for those moments where I can see that I'm going to choose God's path over the world's path. And I'll be anxious to hear how your day goes and how you make that choice. We choose God. We choose to love God or we choose to love the world. We can't love both. I'm going to choose God today. I hope you are too. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow for day 23.